In this video, we'll be solving systems of equations using the elimination method. So the basis behind the elimination method is, if I have two equations that are true, I know that when I combine those equations, that new equation is also going to be true. So what do I mean by that? So here, I have a true equation, 3 plus 5 equals 8, which I know is true. And I have another equation, 4 plus 2 equals 6, which I also know is true. If I combine these two equations together, this new equation is also going to be true. So let's go ahead and see that. What's 3 plus 4? That's going to be 7. What's 5 plus 2? That's also going to be 7. And what's 8 plus 6? That's going to be 14. Is this new equation, is 7 plus 7 equal 14, a true statement? Yes. So that's the basis behind the substitution method. We're able to combine two equations to get something that's true. So let's go ahead and see that. Here, I want to combine these two equations, and I know that whatever I get is also going to be true. So combining these column by column, I have 4x minus 2x. What's that going to be? 4x take away 2x is going to be 2x. Over here, what's negative 2y and positive 2y? I know that when we have opposite signs, those are going to cancel out, so those disappear. And over here on the right side, we have 8 minus 4. What's that going to be? 8 take away 4 is going to be 4. So the reason why this is called the elimination method is, notice what happens to the y's. Since the y's are opposites and of equal amount, they cancel each other out. They got eliminated. And the nice thing about elimination is, once I get rid of one of the letters, this equation that I'm left with, 2x equals 4, that's something now that I can solve. So let's go ahead and solve for x. How do I get rid of this 2 in front? How do I get x by itself? So I know that 2 means to multiply, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So let's divide both sides by 2, leaving me with x equals, what's 4 divided by 2? 2. Okay, we're not quite done yet. We still need to figure out what y is. So using any of these equations before, let's go and figure out what y is. For this example, let's go and use the blue equation, and let's figure out what y is. All right. If I know that x equals 2, I can now use substitution. Every time I see the letter x, I can switch it out with 2. So every time I see x, I'm going to switch it out with 2. The rest of my equation is going to stay the same. I still have this minus 2 in front. I still have plus 2y. And I still have this minus 4. All right, now that I'm only dealing with y's, let's go ahead and solve for y. What's negative 2 times 2? That's going to be negative 4. We still have plus 2y, and we still have minus 4. How do I get rid of this negative 4 here? The opposite of subtracting is to add. So I need to add 4 on both sides. So I'm left with 2y equals, what's negative 4 plus 4? Those cancel each other out, and we get 0. Y is almost by itself. We still need to get rid of this 2 in front. How do I get rid of this 2 in front of the y? I know that 2 is multiplying with y, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So what's 0 divided by 2? What's 0 divided by anything? Y is going to be 0. So the solution to the system is 2, 0. And that's going to be the point that solves both of these equations. Okay. Let's take a look at our second example. And let's see what happens when I try combining these equations. So just like before, if we add column by column, 6x plus 4x, that's going to be 10x. 3y plus 3y, that's going to be 6y. And 6 plus negative 6, that's going to be 0. Notice what happens with this system. Did anything get eliminated? So sometimes when we're looking at an elimination problem, when we combine them right away, some terms won't be eliminated. So we need to do a little bit of setup before we can get a variable to disappear. Why is it that the y values won't cancel each other out? Notice that both of these y values are positive, and we know that we need opposite forces in order for things to cancel out. So I need to change one of these y's to be negative so that they cancel each other out. The way I can do that is, I can multiply this blue equation by negative 1. So multiplying by negative 1, this 4x becomes negative 4x, this 3y becomes negative 3y, and this negative 6 becomes positive 6. And the whole point of that is, now when I combine these two equations, they will cancel each other out. So now let's go ahead and try combining. 6x take away 4x, what's that going to be? That's going to be 2x. Positive 3y and negative 3y, what's that going to be? Those are going to cancel each other out, which is what we wanted. And then what's 6 plus 6? 12. So we're almost done. We still need to solve for x. How do I get rid of this 2 in front? I know that 2 is being multiplied with x, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So x equals, what's 12 cut in half? What's 12 divided by 2? X is going to be 6. All right. We're not quite done yet. We still need to solve for y. So using any one of these equations, let's this time go ahead and use the red equation. And now knowing that x equals 6, I can use substitution to figure out y. If x equals 6, every time I see the letter x, I can switch it out with 6. The rest of my equation stays the same. So I have 6 in front, I have 3y, and I have equals 6. So let's go ahead and solve for y. What's 6 times 6? 36. I still have this 3y in front, and I still have equals 6. How do I get rid of the positive 36? The opposite of adding is to subtract. So let's go ahead and subtract 36 on both sides. Leave me with just 3y. What's 6 take away 36? That's going to be negative 30. And we're almost done. How do I get rid of this 3 in front of the y? I know that 3 is multiplying with y, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So what's negative 30 divided by 3? Y is going to be negative 10. So the solution to the system is going to be the point 6 comma negative 10. All right, let's take a look at our last example. Here, if I just combine these terms, notice that the y's will not cancel out. Something needs to change with the blue equation in order for something to cancel out. So you might notice that these already have opposite signs. We have a negative 8y and a positive 2y. So we're not going into that issue where we have a positive and a negative. How is it that we can cancel these out? Do we have enough y's for everything to cancel out? If I were to write everything out, I have negative 8y. So I have 8 of these y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have 2 of these blue y's. Notice that there aren't enough y's for everything to cancel out. So in order for something to get eliminated, they also need to have the same number. I need an equal amount of positive y's and negative y's for them to cancel out. So what can I do to 2 to have it the same amount as 8? So one thing I can do is I can take this blue equation and I can multiply it with 4. And if I quadruple everything, I will have enough y's for everything to cancel out. So let's go ahead and multiply everything by 4. So 4 times negative x is going to be negative 4x. 4 times 2y is going to be 8y. And then 4 times 1 is going to be 4. And notice that the point of that is, now when I try combining these, the y's are going to cancel out. So let's go and try combining. What's 5x combined with negative 4x? That's going to be x. What's negative 8y combined with positive 8y? These are going to cancel each other out, which is what we wanted. And then what's 3 plus 4? That's going to be 7. So I know x equals 7. Let's go ahead and solve for y. I know using the blue equation, negative x plus 2y equals 1. And since I know that x equals 7, every time I see the letter x, I can now replace it. I can substitute it with 7. Everything else in my equation stays the same. Still have this minus in front, still have this 2y, still have this 1. Okay, now let's go ahead and solve for y. How do I get rid of this minus 7? I need to add 7 on both sides. Those cancel out. Leave me with 2y equals, what's 1 plus 7? 8. And now how do I get rid of this 2 in front? The opposite of multiplying is to divide. So what's 8 divided by 2? Y is going to be 4. So the solution to the system is the point 7 comma 4. So how the elimination method works is, in order for a term to be eliminated, then you not only need to have opposite signs, but you have to have equal numbers.